What is happening, investors? It is your boy Jack. I am not a financial advisor, and today we're going to be speaking about some penny stocks. On this channel we generally speak about the big boys, the massive companies, the Facebooks, the Googles, the big boys. But today we're going to speak about 3 penny stocks that have gathered an awful lot of hype in the media as of late. We're going to be speaking about GNUS stock, a stock I've actually got asked about many times in the comment section below, ticker symbol GNUS. We're going to be speaking about UONE stock, ticker symbol UONE for Class A shares or UONEK for Class D shares, and Carver Bancorp stock, ticker symbol CARV. Before we get into the individual companies, okay, there's a few things that should be known about penny stocks. They're generally considered to be a company that trades below $5 a share or has done for a considerable period of time. They are extremely volatile. The smallest bit of news can lead to hundreds and hundreds of percent gains or just as quickly 80 to 90% losses. Basically, they make Carnival Cruise Corp look like Johnson & Johnson, at least in regards to the predictability of how the company will perform and the volatility. Think about it like this, okay? If Facebook went up 500% tomorrow, that would be one of the craziest things to have ever happened in stock market history. I mean, if something like that happened, the world's probably ending. Aliens are probably invading the planet as we speak. Jay Powell's money printers have just gone overboard. If a penny stock goes up 500%, that's just another day for penny stocks. That's what makes them so exciting and so scary at the same time, especially if you're trading penny stocks as options. You can go bust at the snap of a fingers, or you can become the next Jeff Bezos. And oftentimes by the time you find out a penny stock even exists, it is too late. The hype has started. You're only finding out about them because they've gone up 800% in value. It's already too late. I'm personally not a big fan of penny stocks whatsoever. I'm a long-term investor. Penny stocks can most definitely be long-term investments. They can be incredible long-term investments, but for me it's not where I feel comfortable putting my money. But I do get asked about them quite a lot, so I'm going to make this video speaking about them, and I'm sure that we're going to see a few trends happening that will explain why I don't particularly like penny stocks in general. So guys, right before we get into the video, can I ask you to please drop it a like? It helps me out massively. It helps this video get seen by more people. Please drop me a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on this video or on penny stocks in general, if you're in any of these companies or even any other penny stocks. And please subscribe if you're new around here. We are very close to 8,000 subs and it would be sick if we could hit it today. So with all of that being said, guys, let's get into the first company of today. We're going to start it off with GNUS because I'd say most of you know who these guys are at this stage. So GNUS Brands, what do these guys actually do? Because unless you're a child or an investor, you probably don't know. GNUS Brands International is dedicated to creating and licensing animated programming that delivers content with a purpose for toddlers to tweens. They make cartoons, that's what they do. The latest piece of news that made GNUS stock jump up in value, okay, is that Arnold Schwarzenegger announced as a significant investor. He's in a cartoon, he's in one of their cartoons. Now I'm going to show you their stock chart, okay, and it's very, very different to the stock charts that we generally look at on this channel. If we just look at the last month, okay, we can see that in a matter of a few days, we go up nearly 500%. And just as quick, we've gone down over 60%. This is what I mean by just how volatile these kinds of companies are. This piece of news here came out on the 15th of June, and this is what I mean by a small piece of news can really affect these companies. We can see that they closed at about 8.65%. They were actually up as much as I believe 15-ish% on this day, which for a penny stock is insignificant. Again, if that happened to Facebook or Google or Apple, 15% is absolutely nuts. It's completely and utterly unheard of. But here, this was a slow day. And then we can see just as soon as the good news comes out, within 2 days, the stocks lost over 30% of its value. This is why I don't like penny stocks. They are too unpredictable. Now, if you were one of the people who got in at April at 27 cents a share, you're living the dream. You are up nearly 3,000%. You're still up about 1,000%. But this is what I mean when I said earlier on in the video that by the time you realize these stocks even exist, it's usually too late. I mean, if you're to buy at $3.10 now and it goes back up to its highs of $6.86, which is not guaranteed, you've just made over 100%, which in a penny stock, as we've already established, is nothing. Now, as far as penny stocks go, GNUS do have some sort of potential. They now have Arnold Schwarzenegger and his fan base behind them. This will ultimately bring a lot of extra traffic to these programs. But at the end of the day, there is an awful lot of competition. The likes of Disney Channel, okay? The likes of Nickelodeon, these places, Nicktoons, these places have been around for a very, very long time and have well-established audiences and are still bringing out new programs every single year. GNUS just simply isn't as big of a name. Then we have a look at the balance sheet, and again, it's not like most balance sheets that we look at. We look at Facebook and we see billions. We look at bank stocks, we see trillions. We look at this and we see total assets of 34 million. We see current liabilities of nearly 20 million compared to our current assets of about 10 million, and we see total liabilities of 30 million. I mean, where is the room for expansion? Where is the room for more deals like the one they just did with Arnold? Where is the prospect? I understand the appeal. The thoughts that one company could literally set you up for life is very exciting, but the large majority of the time, with penny stocks like GNUS, you're just going to end up losing an awful lot of money unless you know something that the rest of the world doesn't. Since the end of 2019, these guys have been somewhere between 20 and 30 cents a share. As of right now, their biggest thing is a cartoon that includes Arnold Schwarzenegger. I mean, that's fantastic and all, but that is not enough to keep a company going. That's definitely not enough to keep a company growing at the rate that GNUS have done. Is it worth taking a stab at? Look, as far as spec stocks go, potentially, I'd rather throw my money into something like GNUS than I would Nikola right now. I'd definitely rather throw my money at GNUS than something like Hertz. But for me, no, I won't be investing in GNUS. So on to our second company of today, we're going to be speaking about Urban One. Earlier this week, Urban One turned heads after skyrocketing over 1730%. This came as a surge of interest focused on businesses that are owned by or in support of African American community. But look at this, in the span of 2 trading days, this company went up close to 1400% at close. As the article said, it was up over 1700% at the very peaks. And then the next day, down over 50%. If you take it from that 1700 mark, down a considerable amount more, and today pre-market is down another 17%. We're starting to see a trend in these penny stocks. A little bit more about what they do, okay? Their mission is to be the most trusted source in the African American community that informs, entertains, and inspires. Trading was halted no fewer than 9 times as volume and buying became frenetic. So essentially, Don Morgan III's company bought a lot of these shares, okay? They saw it shoot up in value, and then they sold all of its shares, and they did not buy new ones. This really does look like market manipulation. I don't see any other way to put it. Now we're looking at a company that has considerably a better balance sheet than GNUS, okay? Current assets 215 million. Total assets 1.2 billion, current liabilities 102 million, and total liabilities 1.05 billion. There is an awful lot of hype surrounding this company right now though, which is always a worrying sign. I do definitely see a world where Urban One can most certainly stay above 151, but I don't think it's very justified to be at $12, $10, even $6 or $7. I don't think that makes a lot of sense. Honestly, as a company, I really do love what Urban One stands for, and I think they have created something really unique and really amazing. These are some of their numbers, okay? So they've had 20 million unique visitors, 200 million app streams, 40 million video streams, and 82% of Black America reach. So these guys actually have a massive, well-established audience. So although I don't generally even consider penny stocks, these are a company I am going to be keeping an eye on. I'm not happy to buy them at $12 or $10, but I will be keeping a close eye on them. I will be keeping up to date with the news that does come out in relation to these guys. I will keep an eye on the stock chart. And these could be the first ever penny stock I am to pick up if they do drop below $4 again, depending on what the news is like at the moment. I think now more than ever, it is more important to have a company like Urban One, given everything that's going on in the world. This statistic, for example, is that 91% of blacks believe advertising on black media is more relevant. And I also think that this goes for every ethnicity as well. I think that a lot of people now understand that black media needs to be covered so much more. Any sane person in this world is absolutely infuriated at what is going on in the US right now. I can only imagine what it's like actually being over there, how horrible it must be. But to have a company who does report these things, who does make this available to the masses, is so important, and Urban One clearly are the leader in this game at doing that. They hold a very important position right now. What happens too often with these penny stocks is people invest in a ticker symbol. They don't care about the business, the balance sheet, the fundamentals, anything like that. They just care about the ticker symbol, whether it's going up or whether it's going down. Urban One is actually a business that I would feel confident investing in if I get them at the right price. So that's my thoughts on Urban One. I will leave them there for today. Now we have one more company to cover. So who are Carver Bancorp? Okay, they're the holding company for Carter Federal Savings Bank, a federally chartered stock savings bank. And yesterday these guys went up nearly 250% at close. Another company who went up over 650% in the space of a day. And another company who proceeded to lose more than 50% of that value the same day. This literally happened yesterday. A company went up over 650% and closed at 250%. And similarly to UONE, interest in black-owned businesses following protests is another factor in why these guys have grown so quickly, at least in the day. So the Federal Reserve is doing nearly everything to support the economy, including preventing the financial crisis, by encouraging loans and buying bonds. So the fact that they're getting into corporate bonds and purchasing debt directly is boosting the sector as a whole. So it's another company that's run by African Americans that is getting a lot of support because of what's going on in the world right now. And we have a look at the balance sheet. We're looking at 569 million in total assets, and we're looking at 519 million in total liabilities. So for the sector we're in, this is a tiny balance sheet, but it is still quite a decent balance sheet. But I do have to say that I believe this gain was just completely unjustified. Look at the last year of trading. It has been so sideways between $3 and $1.50. And the thing is that there wasn't even any significant news that came out in relation to this company. They are trending very heavily right now, so I did want to include them in today's video, but I have absolutely zero interest in these guys whatsoever, and most certainly won't be keeping up to date with them, and most definitely won't be buying. I did just want to include them though, because it just shows the power of penny stocks. It shows that penny stock can move over 650% on a day where there is essentially no news surrounding that particular company. I mean, there is literally nothing. So all in all, penny stocks in general mean absolutely nothing to me. I have no interest in them unless the company itself, such as UONE, is a company that I can believe in and I can get behind and I see a future in. The likes of GNUS, I just don't see the growth potential. I really don't. And the likes of Carver Bancorp, I just can't see any reason I would want to invest in them over a different company. So that is it for the penny stocks. So guys, I do hope that you enjoyed today's video. When it comes to penny stocks, my main advice would just be very careful. I know the excitement is very real. When you see a company that goes up over 500% in a day, emotions get involved. You think, that could have been me. But look at the 3 companies we covered today. As soon as they see this massive surge, sometimes the same day, sometimes the next day, sometimes 2 days later, we see a massive drop off. You really do need to know something about these companies before the rest of the world does if you want to get into them at the right time, and that can be extremely hard information to find. I would just say tread lightly, essentially. Especially if you're a long-term investor like me. Why do we need to invest in penny stocks? We're not trying to get rich quick. We're not day traders. We like to buy companies and forget about them for 10 plus years. If I was to invest in Genius brands, I would have to look at them every single day to have any sort of confidence in holding my position. When I buy Johnson & Johnson or I buy Facebook, I'm happy to just hold them. You know what I mean? You don't have to keep up to date with these companies. You just believe in them because they have such good histories. So guys, I do hope that you were able to enjoy today's video and take something away from it. Please do let me know your thoughts down below, either on the video or penny stocks in general, because I always want to get your guys' opinions and feedback. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day. I will catch you for tomorrow's video. Peace.